taken up with our next session that is on maximizing the potential of cloud computing, strategies for successful adoption and optimization. We already have our key speakers joining in. Sonia Thakurani, she's a VP Data Platform Services from Merkle. Can we have a big round of applause for her? So can we have a big round of applause for her? Thank you. Our next speaker is Mahmoud Atallah. He is Azure Solution Lead from Bespin Global MEX. So can we have a big round of applause for him? And the moderator, Hany Wahab. He's a CIO and digital mentor with Goyzer PropTech. So can we have a big round of applause for him? So over to you, Hany.
Good evening, everyone.
All right, good evening.
There was a global statistics that say when you say good evening in the first time, only 12% answer. But second time always gets better. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Same statistics say 67% only answer in second time. Third time, always the best. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Same statistics say whoever didn't answer, they are not interested in the session. But I believe you guys will be interested in the session because we have an amazing speakers today, an amazing moderator, an amazing session, right? Amazing participants. Oh my God. Actually, today we have only two speakers, which is we're keeping the heavy knowledge at the end. And I really want to engage you guys to participate and speak with us today in our session. Let me start by introducing our great speakers. I will start with Sonia. Please introduce yourself to our amazing audience.
Okay, apart from being the reason for the low chairs, evidently, I'm Sonia Thakurani. I'm from India, and I lead the data platforms teams for Merkle, which is a Denso company. My primary responsibility is leading teams that help organizations bring all of their data together from different sources, make sense out of it, build personas, understand the customers completely, and then allow brands to market effectively to them. So that's where all of the cloud and all of the data comes in.
I believe you're driving a futuristic role now. We're going to drill down to this. And we have Mahmoud Atallah. Please, Mahmoud.
Yeah, so on a simple statement, I'm Mahmoud Atallah. I'm Azure Service Delivery Lead. I would say I'm coming from a cloud background. I've been in the cloud background, it's almost 6 years now, where the cloud started in like 2015 or 2014. Before that, I was dealing again with Microsoft on-premises solutions back in 2010. So I'm purely Microsoft guy. They are calling me Microsoft Guru, where I'm Microsoft MVP. For those who don't know what is meaning by MVP, it's most valuable professional Microsoft Guru guy. So you would see lots of Microsoft names happening in the, I would say, in the session itself. Don't take it in a bad situation. I like Microsoft. I've been dealing with Snowflake for somehow, but I would say that expect a good news about Microsoft today. Yeah, thank you.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you, Mahmoud. Thank you, Sonia, for the introduction. My background is tech also. I came from same industry. I started as a trainer, ex-New Horizons, ex-Global Knowledge. And then I was dealing with mostly system integrators and global service providers, such as Microsoft partners in the region, such as Crayon, ex-Bespin Global, by the way. Now it's eAnd, by the way. Bespin Global now became eAnd. It was acquired by eAnd very soon, recently. And my last role was a group CIO of a large investment firm of 11 companies. And now I am managing my own Goyzer as a co-founder. And we are specialized in PropTech industry. So we only do real estate technologies, if you guys are familiar with PropTech. Apart from that, I still do my own speaking, training, coaching, as training and coaching was in my blood as a digital transformation, not as a life coach and close your eyes and meditate, which is somehow I do, by the way, and I'll do for you guys. But from my own even experience of this topic, we have seen a lot of transformation coming from, if you guys remember, the physical boxes, and then we had a virtualization, and then we had a private cloud, and then public cloud, and then hybrid, and now we have edge. I think we're going back, right? So I really want to hear from my speakers today, how do you guys see, both of you, I'll start with Sonia, how do you see the transformation that was and happening and going somewhere in the next 5 to 10 years from a cloud perspectives? I mean, from a cloud stack. We will come to the data and the AI level, but let's start from the bottom line, if you don't mind.
Okay. So I think basically it's becoming difficult for the students or the starters, because by the time they finish learning one cloud, another one gets popular. And by the time they finish learning that, the third one is popular. And the demand of talent keeps changing very cyclically, I would say. So AWS was very hot at one point in time. I wouldn't say was, but it used to be the trending topic. Then there's Google, there's Azure that is getting traction. Then suddenly the buzzword becomes Snowflakes, Databricks, Fabric. So there's so much of competition that is coming in, driven by all of the latest technologies, all of the hardware provisions, all of the AI that's coming in. It is going to be a very, very fast changing landscape. And eventually it is going to be more easier for the user. So the complexity of using will go down, and the flexibility that it offers will go up, is at least what I see that's happening.
Mm-hmm. I would say I share the same, because even if there's a startup now, they call themselves born in cloud, they don't understand the history where we came from. And somehow the technology that's coming in the future, somehow it is copying some of the historical technologies that we're having. Please, Mahmoud, same.
I would say actually what Sonia just highlighted, it's really reflecting on my day-to-day basis. So I'm working with Bespin. Bespin is a cloud provider company where we are delivering a multi-cloud solution provide. However, recently, as an E&D enterprise company, we have a kind of agreement with Microsoft to deliver only cloud solution on Microsoft, which is Microsoft Azure. And that was running for the last 2 years. Only yesterday, in Drytex, we had another announcement that E&D company, which is again Bespin Global, will drive AWS for the upcoming 6 years. So as myself have been leading my team for Microsoft for the last almost 15 years, I have to totally switch my team and just take the gears for the different direction from AWS, from Microsoft Azure to AWS. At the end, both of them are cloud services, both of them almost delivering the same services. However, for us, as a team that maintaining this cloud services, we have to learn the different services that we will deliver for our customer. So when it comes back to the Hany question, where the cloud comes in the picture, I would say that cloud at the end, it's a data center, where it's a services that you can consume in order to host a platform like Databricks or Snowflake or any platform that can come on top of the cloud services, which is behind the scenes. It's a data center giving you the flexibility to consume the services globally. So few of my customers are just looking for their data to be only in UAE. That's fine. They can consume any type of data center. They can go for Dude, they can go for Salat, they can go for Moro, whoever will provide a local services. They are not really looking for global reachability or global business. But I would say when it comes to startups or companies would like to be totally available around the globe, they will not be able to deliver such a solution without benefiting from the cloud, without benefiting from the edge concept that Hany just mentioned. So that's where I see the cloud comes in.
Mm-hmm. I think I share the same vision because, as I said, some startups, they are born in cloud. And some of the students, they start studying the cloud. And they start from studying the network on cloud, where I feel sorry that they don't understand what DNS function actually do, because it's out of the box functioning, but they cannot troubleshoot. They will never understand the net bias, if you guys are familiar with these terminologies. So if they haven't built a DNS fully functional server outside the Active Directory, because if it's built in Active Directory, it will work anyway. If you haven't built it as a separate server, you will never understand how you actually build it yourself. So if you want to build a technology stack like a private cloud, that's where the real engineering and the real experience comes. But now you spin a virtual machine, you build a website in App Service or NetBeans in Amazon, and it's working. DNS is, everything is functioning. Our life, we're wasted in the data centers, guys. But I feel now the edge computing is coming back also to integrate this. So I feel the compute will be centralized on-prem, and this is also proven by NVIDIA, because NVIDIA now started to sell more chips. That means there is a lot of demand on compute. And the compute cloud is not a cheap. I'm not saying cloud is bad, but the heavy compute customers, they have to build their own edge computing, not even because of the compute, it might also be because of the latency. Yeah, because they cannot relate 1 millisecond or 2 milliseconds. We need less than this. So that takes me to another question. Now we understand that we are in the cloud space, okay, but there is always a challenge of adapting cloud transformation, because any transformation project, you have to deal with people, process, and technology. Cloud is only technology, but how about the other two guys? So we should have a proper change management and a proper adaptation frameworks that we have to adapt. And I know that you guys have something to share with us. I will start with Mahmoud. Can you put some highlights on the CAF frameworks? How is your experience when you work with an enterprise customer versus a smaller customer? How they can adapt to the cloud fast and also can utilize the function of cloud?
Great. So again, back to Microsoft. I'll say that every cloud provider, even local providers, they do have their cloud adoption framework concept, meaning that whenever I'm getting a customer to consume the cloud, I should be really thinking about, okay, before I reached out to any cloud provider and start looking into consuming their services, I need to look into the business need and the business driver, I would say. Do really I need to go for the cloud? Let's say, as I just mentioned, there is a global reachability requirement or a high scalability requirement. That comes into the strategy planning. So there is a concept which is well known for all the cloud provider, which is called the Cloud Adoption Framework. And the Cloud Adoption Framework, it's a consist of multiple methodologies, which is you have to follow in order to maintain your cloud properly or in order to join the cloud journey. So in order to join the cloud journey, you have to think about the strategy, where you're really looking into the business driver, business needs, where I'm going to adopt my cloud, what is the business requirement, those kind of things. Once you identify your business need, you're looking after into the next step, which is planning. Okay, in order to adopt the cloud, I need to plan it properly. I need to look into my skill set. I need to look into my team. Do I have the skill set in my team, or do I have to hire external service provider? And then I have to look into the next step, where I have to, I would say, looking into the readiness level. Now, I have my business requirement, I have the plan, I'm looking to build or migrate, where I will have my application totally hosted on the cloud. Now, if my application is hosted on the cloud, the next step will be adopting the cloud, where the questions comes from Hany. I'm maintaining my service on the cloud, but still, I need to look after the compliance. I need to look after the security. Most of our colleagues today morning, they speak about the security requirement. But to be honest, the holistic view, it should cover end to end. It's not only about security, it's not only about AI, it's all about end-to-end cycle. So I have to think about compliance, networking, security requirement, scaling, education, and then it goes to the optimization. So my services is hosted on the cloud. Now I do have lots of cost running. I have to control my cost. I have to look after my compliance requirement from local. Let's say here in UAE, we do have a DISC, which is Dubai Electric Security Compliance Requirement. So whoever customer coming to me does have a compliance for UAE, I have to maintain this compliance requirement. And then it goes to the last stage of the cloud adoption framework, where I have to control the governance. So I have all those requirements. Now I need to apply, or I need to have a policy where it apply all those requirements automatically. Where, let's say, I need to control the cost. So whenever the cost is reaching to a specific certain threshold, I'm getting a specific alert. That's where the governance and the optimization comes in the picture. So end to end, I would say cloud adoption framework, it's a methodology that you have to follow. You shouldn't really start from the beginning till the end. Somewhere you have to assess your status, and based on your status, you're gonna join the journey. So it's not really required to join from the beginning or end up by the end. It's just about where you are looking to adopt, or which services that you're going to adopt in the cloud. That's it.
That was amazing. I'll rephrase the question for you, Sonia, because it's also challenging. Sonia do a lot of work from data, like you have a source of data, which is marketing, and then you have platforms for data, and then you get from this data something valuable. It's hard to understand for non-techno-functional business people, because it's not deep tech. It touches the marketing, it touches the business, and then it touches the cloud as well. Same, how we can adapt this from understanding and adoption for businesses, especially smaller and enterprises. I understand there are some technologies were meant to be done for enterprises, but trust me, there is nothing cannot be done for SMEs. I can challenge in this. So how you see the adoption, small business versus enterprise in what you do, especially in the platform of cloud?
So actually, truth be told, for small business, the folks we speak to may not necessarily be the technical guys.
Agree.
They're the guys with the money. They have a vision, but they may not know how. Now, the conversations, imagine the same thing that Mahmoud just said, translating that to a business owner, it will become a very technically heavy thing to make him understand if we talk of CAF to him. But what we try for any platform, be it or any data warehouse adoption, what we try to do is break it down into 3 pieces: think, do, and optimize. So when we talk about the think part, we ask questions like the use case driven questions like we had in the earlier session. You know, what is the current problem? Is it cost? Is it latency? Is it performance? It is security. From there, we go back into, okay, anyone, anywhere in the past, or any of your current users have any cloud preferences. There we'll come with some, oh no, we have some AWS folks, we have some Azure kind of liking. Then we take a step back and we say, okay, now let's talk about cost. How big is your wallet, or how much do you want to actually spend this year versus the next year?
True.
And then that conversation goes backwards. So for any user, the framework exists. It's only how you talk about it and how you actually deliver eventually.
True. I want to also spot the light with the audience. If anyone of you guys have a use case where you have built or you have done some new technology, it doesn't really need to be a cloud technology. And how did you apply adoption in your infrastructure or on your users? One of the cases, I was managing around 800 users, and we changed it from no computer to fully cloud within 2 years. And I had too many challenges. But I really want to hear from you guys. Someone tell me one small story of how did you guys apply cloud or new technology transformation adoption in your infrastructure or in your business. Anyone can share successful or failed story. It doesn't need to be successful. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, please. Yeah, sure. Please. Would you please introduce yourself and then share the details?
Thank you for asking questions, right? In fact, I'm going to talk into the next panel discussion.
So you're warming up now.
Yes, I'm working, right? I'm getting ready.
Good.
So to answer your one question previously asked is that edge computing. So the real lifetime example is the autonomous vehicle, right? I've been working on that where we need the edge computing because decision has to be faster. We cannot depend on the cloud pushing us the data and though the regular updates happen. Now coming to the point, digital transformation, right? I'm taking you to the 32 years back, right?
Okay.
32 years back, right? So when we started technology adoption in the manufacturing, right? Design, development, manufacturing, and people were talking, we need to adopt technology for faster time to market any product which we go with the IT technology or industry 4 you talk about or engineering solution. So we were working on that. People were coming and laughing. This boy have no work, just sitting on a computer and just passing the time. That's the way we compound. In fact, people go beyond that, commenting on that. So what we do it, like say take the car, right? You are designing the product, you have to manufacturing project. If you go the manufacturing directly, then a lot of rework happens, right? So you need to bring the digital, create the physical in digital world, we call it digital twin or the 3D factory.
True.
Nowadays a common buzzword, in India when no one was talking about, we started that journey. So what we did it, we took the technology, we started making awareness within the small team. The team we call a digital product development team. And that team started first himself learning it. We ourselves did, we follow a concept, see, try and buy. When you see the technology, try and buy. I'm talking 32 years back. We saw the technology, we created a pool of people who is very known. We adopted the technology then. Then we went to the user. We asked the user to please come, take a small pilot area from your area, which is a more problematic.
Sure.
We brought into there, like say, if you see the car assembly line, there's a large number of stations. Take one station, convert into digitally, and see the benefit, time reduction, productivity, faster time to happening. So this is where we happen. And now we gradually move to the entire line, gradually move to the entire across the plant.
True.
And this is the way we implement. It's a mega implementation. Now the same set of people, we can't survive without this. So this is a transformational journey you have achieved. And if we talk about bottom line we improve, by default I say the minimum 10% reduction has happened.
That's amazing.
So this is the way we have journey now. This has become nowadays a common thing, people to adopt it, right?
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing the experience. And I totally agree. And one of the strategies also we followed is a conditional POC. Conditional POC means, I'm telling you something, I might just telling you a story. But no, let's give me 200 users or 200 machines or whatever it is, and let's sign a paper, and if it is successful, you will buy it or you will implement it. I remember one of my projects, we have done it for BMW. We did the math, and they had like 12 servers. We said, okay, these 12 servers can combine in one server using a technology called Hyper-V. Anyone remember a company called Versto? Versto, it was acquired by VMware and they shut it down because these guys have done an innovation in the storage layer of SSD and so on. So we signed a paper that 12 server will function in one server and better performance. We challenged them and then they bought the solution. This is also another story. The third story that always win is build an academy around it. Microsoft have done Cloud Society. Amazon have done a program called Restart, like re/start. You guys are familiar with these. So build some knowledge and content around any topic, people will adapt it without they feel that they have been learning it, right? Now I'll take the question back to you, Sonia. I know you have a lot of technology stack experiences around platforms like Snowflake, Databricks, and so on. So these buzzy words like platforms, how we can utilize this and how we can choose between all these buzzy names, because it's really hard. I had an experience to work with almost all of them. Every single technology is a separate use case. How our audience can easily pick and choose, and based on what, how, like this technology is shaped for these guys and this is for that. So give us some spotlight in this, please. Thank you.
Okay, so like you said, there are many buzzwords. What's more interesting is I've seen actual situations where when one CTO comes, he prefers one platform. When he moves on after 2 years, it took 2 years to bring all the data into one platform. Hurrah, it's working. The person leaves, another CTO comes, his preferred platform is something else. And then they again spend dollars for a migration exercise and again spend 2 years migrating to another platform. So yes, there is a lot of personal preferences, history, experiences. So that always drives choices as human beings. But keeping that aside, one of the key thing is, what are you trying to do, right? Every platform has some differentiator that they speak about very, very loudly. So if you talk about Snowflake, I think the first thing that comes to mind when you speak Snowflake is data sharing, which they speak very loudly because not other platforms speak about it. Yes. Databricks just starts saying we are an analytics platform. So that's their kind of an identity
Enterprise
card.
one, I think.
Sorry?
Yeah, it's an enterprise one. I
Yes,
believe.
and we are the ones who can run your analytics for you, right from your data to insights.
True.
So that's their kind of presence felt. Now, what happens for organizations, and we being service providers, we've seen this standing at the fences, is as an organization, I may spend, so we have the platforms guys come and explain the tool, show us the shiny toy, it does everything under the planet and the sun and the astronaut thrown in, everything is done. But when we actually spend the dollars as an organization and buy it, there were a lot of conditions and small asterisks and small fine print which actually doesn't work the way it was sold. And the best practice around it is, if you know of a use case and you think a platform suits or sounds like it suits your use case, is always bring in an expert, a hands-on architect into the conversation who will actually ask live experiential questions like, does this easily have an API integration with so-and-so kind of a source? And those kind of questions are the ones which actually become the decision-making factors for the organization, because that's how they can actually evaluate the tool and the extra costs that may come or may not come with it.
Yes.
So according to me, it's having that neutral presence. Like you said, conditional POCs, there are firms that will say, hey, we will come and evaluate your platforms for you at this kind of a cost.
True.
And that's like a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, true. There's also, I'll ship the same question for Mahmoud regards to the cloud economics. Cloud economics is also the same. There are companies that will come and say, hey, how's your cloud bill? My cloud bill is like 5 digits or 6 digits. Is it above million or below million? That's it. If it's above million, I'm going to do a full deployment for you, and I will take 20% of the saved money. For you, it's zero cost, and you're saving money. If you save the money, I make money. If not, that's it. So, Mahmoud, I want to put the light in cloud migrations, because there are different approaches for different migration terminologies and scenarios. And there are also cost impact in each approach. Can you put some lights there? Is it our timing? Or? Really? Okay, I will answer this question. We started late.
Yes, exactly.
Sorry, guys. Okay,
Actually, we started on time.
I was about to ask you how's our time. Anyway, I think we have only one more question, and the audience are enjoying. So, are you guys enjoying?
No.
Global statistics says. Okay, Mahmoud, please.
Yeah, just before I answer Hany's question, actually, I would like to share with you experiences, especially related to the cost-saving concept, where actually, I would say I did it myself as a freelancing activity. So back days I was in Qatar, and I had a situation where I left my job, and I just stayed back home. So I start looking into the customer that they do have services, like Sonia highlighted, they require an expert to go and analyze their existing environment, and from the other perspective, looking at their existing costing and see how I can save them some amount of money. And I do remember one of my customers was back in Ireland, where they do have a very heavy cost running for the data, where they do have lots of data analysis or lots of databases, and looks like they are not really consuming it well. After certain analysis for their data warehouse and for their SQL servers, I found a gap, and I was easily able to save them almost 80% of their cost. So I did a kind of agreement, which is exactly what Hany mentioned. I would get 20% for 1 year, and that's my commitment with you. I don't need any kind of, I would say they can break the contract in case of this cost is not really going well as expected.
Sure.
And it went well. I just saved their cost, and it was just running a kind of additional, I would say, negative income for me just from this project. So that's comes into the picture of having a cost-saving option or adopting the cloud properly. Back to your question, what it was?
The cloud migration strategies and the cost impact in 1 minute window, please.
That's fine. I'll try to be very short on that. When it comes to consuming the cloud services, I would say there is 100 of solutions where you can assess your existing workload before moving to the cloud. So you would be having a kind of TCO or total cost of ownership for your cloud before really consuming the cloud. So we had a situation where we were running a TCO or business case for one of big banking sector here in UAE, and we went in depth until we reached with them that we give them expected cost, I would say holistic view for the upcoming 10 years. Mm-hmm. And that's where they will be downgrading their data center on premises and increasing their cloud environment or spending on Azure itself. And that was a kind of mix between consuming in the cloud, but still you are paying on premises for a certain time of period, because it's still, anyway, the migration itself, it's a journey. It's not one-day activity, so they have to understand that they're gonna pay here and there. And that's where the costing, I would say consuming a tool, having the expert people to analyze your journey, and just joining your cloud journey from end to end, that's something that you need for your costing analysis, yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. Just to throw some names, there is a platform called VMware Cloud Health. It's not Microsoft, it's a tool, that's Cloud Economics. There's for cloud assessment, there's also another tool, it's called Flexera. That's also an assessment tool where you can also have an insights. In 30-second question, because I still have to ask those two questions, I will start with Sonia. How do you see the shift of the industries that's happening in the next 5 to 10 years from business perspectives? I am a businessman. What I can do with the data and technology in the next 5 to 10 years? I need to press buttons, something big happen. Same question will be for you for the cloud. Think about a 30 seconds answer.
Yeah, so cloud, the economics of the cloud is going to be a big shift, because I think the last 5 years was more about migration and adoption. This couple of years is going to be about how do we do it most cost efficiently. So that's going to be one big driver. Second is also going to be the adoption of AI services on the cloud. So AI is not only, while cloud will help drive AI, but the kind of AI-enabled solutions that these platforms also bring in is going to be a deciding factor for all of these organizations on what they choose and why they choose. Be it governance, be it security, adhering to HIPAA compliance and all of those. With AI actually being there underlying, it is going to make it easier for organizations and cut down their headcount significantly, which they may be doing manually. So that, I think, is going to be a strategic shift.
This is great. So same question, Mahmoud. When we're going for a cloud transformation projects, what will be the one click that can do miracles in the backend? I know they can automate everything, but give us some, how do you see this is going now? Can I ask, like, the co-pilot build for me 2 virtual machines with this? Give us something futuristic in what you do now.
Actually, it's not futuristic, it's happening. So Copilot, in a simple state, you can really instruct it to do a certain action for you where it will really do these actions in place. So even in-house, back in my team, we are developing something that will be our IP for Bespin Global, where we are building our AI integration with OpenAI in order to be a multi-cloud tool that I will instruct it to build a solution on AWS. It will exactly do the same for Azure. It will do the same for Google with one click. So that's coming. And I would say I will just end it up here, and I will continue the answer tomorrow in Drytex if you would like to join me.
He's inviting you guys for tomorrow's event.
Yeah.
And I'll also answer the same question, guys. This has already happened, okay? In real estate world, we achieved that the customer can go to the website, put their contact details, requesting for a callback. Within 50 seconds, the system will take your number, will dial the agent according to a formula and logic behind it. If you are interested in this project, call this guy. Call the agent, put you and the agent in a conference call, record it, push your contact details to my CRM for Salesforce, assign this lead to the agent who spoke to you, and if the agent didn't answer you within 1 hour, escalate him to his manager and send the customer welcome email, welcome message on WhatsApp, welcome. All this was happened. Just put your phone number in the website. We used around like 26 technologies around this, but that was one of the use cases that we've built. And we see that the only starting point in the PropTech. In the future, there is a lot to come.
Hany, one more
Please.
important answer there is, and I've seen a lot of new startups working in this, is all of this aside, going back to my first answer, I think as users, we'll be able to talk to our data. You can just ask questions.
True.
And an interface like ChatGPT will
True.
tell you what is in your data without having to write any kind of queries, possibly without needing all of the DBAs that we need today. But that's how easy things are going to get.
That's true. That's why now we hear also, it's a buzzword, it's a conversational AI.
Yeah.
It's not only AI, it's a conversational AI. So I think that takes us to the end. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the amazing
Let's give a huge round of
Thank you.
applause for all the panelists.
time.
And I will ask all the panelists for a group photo.
Okay. Only us?
So big round of applause for all the key speakers for a wonderful panel discussion. Can we have a big round of applause for all of them?
I will ask Mitali to present certificate of participation to Mahmoud Atallah. So we have first Mahmoud. Please give us a big round of applause for Mahmoud. So next we have Sonia Thakurani. Please give us a huge round of applause for Sonia. And at last, Hany Wahab. Kindly give a huge round of applause for Hany.